What's up, guys? Welcome to Game of the Week for week number 10 here in the OMFL. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We just got done with Press Pass Live, and I want to hop in and do a quick Game of the Week for you. There were several great games to choose from, and actually two of them that I really wanted to pick are going on right now. That is the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers and the Washington Redskins versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Both of those are really important, great games. But they're going on right now, and that would make my video pretty obsolete. Even though it would be done before the game, there'd be no reason to watch it because the game would already be played. So I'm going with another game that intrigued me, and that is the Dolphins versus the Browns. This is a big game for both of these teams. The Dolphins are sitting at 5-3. The Browns are sitting at 4-4. They really need a victory. That is the Browns against the Dolphins to stay in the hunt here. But these are the types of games that we were talking about on Press Pass Live. The Dolphins have to win if they're going to be a playoff contender. Daddy Leagues is calling for a 25-19 victory for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have allowed 250 passing yards, 83 rushing yards, but they do get 2.3, almost 2.5 sacks per game. They struggle on third down. Both of these teams actually have the exact same third down percentage at 40.5. On defense, their red zone defense is actually really good at 76%. A little bit of a struggle at 84.4 on the offense. If you look at the Browns, though, they are flip-flop. Their defense gives up a lot of touchdowns, 89.3 red zone percentage, and 62.5 offensive red zone percentage. That makes for a bad combination. The Browns do average 2 turnovers. They do average 2 takeaways. The Dolphins average 3 turnovers. They average 2 takeaways. So both of these teams like to give up the ball, and they're going to have to do a much better job of that moving forward here into the season. The Browns only allow 166 passing yards, but they're allowing 127 rushing yards, only 1.3 sacks per game. So that defense is doing a much better job in the air, but really struggling with the run and really struggling with their defensive sacks that they're getting. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Browns. They're sitting at 4-4. They're 83 overall. They are 31st in points, 21st in yards, 10th in passing, but 32nd in rushing. So this team is really struggling to put points on the board and really struggling to find any semblance of a rushing attack. Again, we just talked about their defense. They're 26th in points, 6th in total yards, 2nd in passing, but 27th in rushing yards. So not scoring any points. They're not stopping anybody from scoring. They have no rushing game. They're not able to stop anybody's rushing game. That makes for a really bad combination. Now, Outlaw really has been stubborn these last couple seasons. He has stuck it out with Nate Stubblefield. You got to give it to him, man. He has made up his mind that he's going to make this dude into a quarterback, and he has stuck with it, but not really working out for him. 62% completion percentage is pretty nice, but 8 touchdowns to 15 interceptions and 20 sacks. Can somebody please help this young man? They've really struggled, even though they went out and have tried several different running backs. Both Lamar Miller and TJ Yeldon came in this season. Both still have plenty of playmaking ability, but this offensive line not only struggles to protect Nate, but they struggle to open up running holes. Both of these guys are averaging under 3 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns total, and just not any combination of a semblance of a running game here. These guys are really struggling. Corey Coleman doing his thing, 66 receptions, 848 yards, but 3 drops and no touchdowns. That's something that's going to have to change for this team moving forward. Just taking a quick look at their defense. Braxton Leak is leading their teams in tackles with 25. He's got a forced fumble and an interception in there. Emmanuel Ogaba, who's been, I think he was franchised, or he's going to be franchised this year. He's got 4 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, so pretty good for them. But overall, this team needs to do a better job of scoring, keeping teams from scoring, and that really has been their hesitation all this season. The Miami Dolphins are sitting at 5-3 and the top portion of the AFC, I should say. We've talked about this team a lot during Press Pass Live. Their offense scores a lot of points at 26 points per game, But they give up a lot at 24 points per game. Overall, their offense is middle of the road, so they do a really good job without a lot of weapons of scoring points, but everything else is pretty average. On defense, they do a great job of shutting down people's running game, but because of that, people turn to the passing attack and get the big play on them and are putting up a lot of points. Blake Bortles has not played any better since coming over from the Jacksonville Jaguars. 12 touchdowns to 18 interceptions, a 68.4 rating. Matt Jones is having a spectacular season, though. 4.9 average, 592 yards with 8 touchdowns. Their problem is finding out who's going to be the key backup for them, who could come in and give Matt a rest and get some key carries. They really haven't found that guy yet. Their passing attack is really, really good. Akeem Grant has 6 receptions, 294 yards, a 49-yard per catch average with 3 touchdowns on 6 receptions. He is their big play threat. Their other 2 guys, Parker and Landry, both shared carries, both are averaging about the same, 4 touchdowns, 34 receptions, both around that 17 to 20 average. 606 yards for Landry, 697 for Parker. So they really have the playmakers that they need on offense. They just need to tweak a few things. On defense, Mike Patrick is leading their team with 5 interceptions. You got a couple of guys with 3 and 2 there. And then their number 1 sack leader is going to be Shaq Lawson, with Tyrone Holmes also throwing in another 5 on top of that. So they do cause you to turn the ball over if you're not careful and you don't protect it, but they really do struggle with keeping teams from getting the big play and scoring lots and lots of points at 24 points per game. So there you have it. The Dolphins are traveling to face the Browns in our game of the week for week number 10. Go ahead and give me the Dolphins in a 26-17 victory on the road against the Browns. I'm hoping that he proves me wrong from my Press Pass Live comments of being a tease. I think that he can win this game, but you know what? You cannot count out Outlaw. The guy makes you scrape. He makes you fight for every yard. And if you're not careful, he'll steal a game from you. He's going to make you earn it, and you're going to have to earn it against him the right way. And that is keeping from scoring points and be efficient on offense. Dolphins have the offense down pat. They're going to have to get that defense playing better. And nothing helps your defense play better than play one of the worst scoring teams in the league, in the Cleveland Browns, who are only averaging 13 points per game. So there you have it. Give me the Dolphins over the Browns this week in Week 10 Game of the Week. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week for Week 11 Game of the Week when D-Wayne and Houday take back over. Peace.